Hello, and welcome to I Choose You, the podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. My name is Jeremy Zielik. I'm the host and Alton Brown of the group. Joining me this week, as always, is...
your friend on the show, Ben Montoya.
Ian Davis, the Wayne Kent Taylor of the show.
And Evan Aubrey.
Oh, let's go. Nice. Snap, crackle, and pop.
Crisp.
Evan, what is it?
It is warm outside, so I'm drinking Mango Cart.
Oh,
Okay.
hell yeah.
Is it warm outside where you are, Ben?
It actually was pretty warm, relatively, to how it's been, which has been kind of like rainy and overcast and whatnot. Today was pretty hot and sunny, and I'm actually also drinking a Sunny D vodka seltzer that's pineapple orange flavored this time. So
Wait, did you buy a variety pack, or are you actively buying more of these now?
it was a variety pack.
Okay.
And like I explained last episode, despite the request to save some for Ian, quote unquote save some for Ian, none were consumed while Ian was in town. So
Yeah, I know.
I'm still stuck with them. Still chugging, you know.
Ian, you had a question?
I did. I don't want this to be. Nobody wants this to be a long, drawn-out answer. I just need like quick, snappy response. Of the four of us,
Nobody.
who would be Snap, Crackle, and Pop, respectively?
But like, what's the fourth one?
There isn't one.
They die.
Yeah, we have to kill. Kill, Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Go.
That's an excellent game, actually. Take any
Who would you
like
snap?
quartet. Kill,
Yeah.
snap,
Who would you
crackle,
snap,
pop.
who would you crackle, and who would you pop?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, well, I can't remember what any of them look like or any of their defining characteristics. So I'm going to say kill myself, Evan is Snap, Ian is Crackle, and Jeremy is Pop.
Yeah, it's probably the best case scenario because you.
Okay, I've got good news, guys.
What's that?
There was a hidden fourth mascot, as we all know.
Oh, I didn't have to kill myself.
Yes.
Oh, too late.
And his name was Pow,
Pow.
like P-O-W.
They put that in a focus group, and the people are like, "Yeah, the rice stuff really doesn't pow."
It doesn't
the right
pow.
way."
It's kind of more Snap, Crackles, and Pops.
I mean, he was a cross between a futuristic superhero and an astronaut.
Sorry, what?
It's like RoboCop.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. And actually, there was a fifth one who he like drove cars, and his name was Ka-Chow.
Nice.
So, Snap,
be
Crackle,
Ka-Chow.
Pop, Pow.
Pow sucks.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
none of us want to be.
No one
I'd
wants
rather
to be
kill myself than be Pow. Let's be honest.
Okay, so let's say that we're taking ourselves out of the equation, tragically, and we're assigning Snap, Crackle, and Pop to the other members of the group.
I feel like Ben is definitely a crackle. They've got that ASMR energy about them.
Okay.
Ian's more of a snap, the witty one, and then Jeremy's the pop, the like factual, like hit you over the head with it.
Yeah, a Pop is more like, kind of like a
Yeah.
punch to the chin kind of situation.
This is fucking killing me because I searched them up, and there's lots of pictures of them. But even the Wikipedia doesn't identify who is who. It's just
Yeah, there's no
Doesn't it
mugshots.
say on their hats?
Does it?
It's like having
Oh,
an
shit.
online dating profile, and like there's only pictures of the person like in a group setting, so you can't find like which
one are
is
you
the
really?
individual. Yeah.
If I'm gonna go off of just like who looks like the mascot the most. Ben is
Oh,
absolutely
yeah.
Pop. Evan has to be
Pop?
Crackle.
I'm the Aryan one.
Yeah,
Fuck.
for sure. For sure. Every time. Jeremy, you unfortunately have to be the ginger of the group.
Okay.
Sorry to say.
Okay. Well, I'm not being opposed to being a redhead. I'm not a redhead, but I'm not against it either. So
What was the fourth one called? Bork. What was it?
Pow.
Pow.
Oh, pow.
I would, hey, I would love if they called it Bork, named after failed Supreme Court Justice Robert Bork, who wasn't able to make it in the 80s, so he transferred to mascotting for cereal.
That would be a deep cut for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope that answers your question, Ian.
It does, and I'm drinking a strawberry bubbly.
Ooh.
Strawberry buble. Have you transitioned to buble?
I have not transitioned.
out of LaCroix.
No. For some reason, this was in my fridge.
Oh,
I assume Grace
just
put it
moved it
there.
For
Fair.
some reason.
I don't know.
All right, I have a drink this week, and it's Sandia hard cherry cider. So
very fruity palette this week on the Croy Boys.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I think it's good, and it's a fun time. And you know, this week is important, as I think you're all aware. A very important birthday is happening this week. It's one that has echoed throughout the ages, and I think it's on the top of everybody's tongues. That's right. This week is the 20th birthday of Shrek 2 coming to theaters. And Shrek 2 is being re-released in theaters this Friday to celebrate its 20th anniversary.
Oh, Jeremy, that's what you could do for your birthday. You rented out a theater to watch Shrek 2.
Whoa.
Jeremy, is that actually what we're watching?
No, it's not.
Because that would be really fucking funny if you rented this like real like avant-garde theater to play Shrek.
To watch Shrek 2.
Last Smash Mouth.
Well, that's where they sing like "I'll Hold Out for a Hero" or whatever is Shrek 2.
shit.
Yeah,
Funky
sing along
Town,
edition. Ooh, that could be fun.
Yeah.
The bouncing ball.
Yeah, well, it's this Friday only, so April 12th. Mark your calendars, Choosy Nation, and go see Shrek 2 and wither and die at the fact that this movie is 20 years old.
Are they going to re-release it in 70mm IMAX?
It was a print overseen by Christopher Nolan himself.
The Nolan cut.
Yeah, the Snyder cut for Shrek 2. That more dead parents.
It's all black and white.
Yeah, it's in 4x3.
Shrek finds a mermaid on the beach.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was like, got it. Well, I mean, there's, interspecies romance. I think that's something Zack
could get
Snyder
behind.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I think they're really priming the ground for Shrek 5 whenever that happens. Maybe next year or the year after.
That is real, right? That's not just like a dream I had once.
What was the dream of Shrek 5 for you, Ben?
I don't know. It is confirmed, right? That's not just like a
not
internet.
a fan myth.
It's
Right.
It's not been officially announced by DreamWorks.
Oh,
but
so it was a dream.
But it wasn't a dream. It was a dream work because it was made by the DreamWorks company. But no, it was a person who worked for DreamWorks accidentally leaked the information on their LinkedIn.
Oh,
That's
Which, classic, kind of like media company folly where it's like, I worked on blah, blah, blah at this studio. And you're like, oh, that hasn't been announced yet. Now my life is ruined.
Yeah, guys, actually, I hate to inform you, but I was the one who leaked Shrek 5.
oh no.
Holy shit. Or
yeah.
should I say holy
That's
crap?
right, because it was going to be a Tubi exclusive.
to the original. Oh, fuck.
And they ran out of fairy tale characters. They started doing the Smash Brothers thing and brought in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh,
Finally.
the teeth cut.
Yeah, the teeth cut.
The teeth cut made it to Shrek 5.
That was
Teeth
the
Sonic
first
is-
leak. Is like
yeah.
it wasn't supposed to make it into the Sonic movies. This was saved for Shrek,
Shrek
and they
5,
just
yeah.
accidentally put it out beforehand.
Have they replaced Ben Schwartz with as Sonic with Mike Myers doing a Scottish
They
accent?
have to, right? This is like an Eddie Murphy Norbit situation.
Yeah.
Well, we can't replace Eddie Murphy in Shrek 5.
Well, true. Yeah. Okay.
See, this is the problem.
Maybe that's what it
that-
is. Eddie Murphy does all the characters in Shrek 5.
So here's the problem: is that the Shrek franchise is based around two comedians who famously like playing all of the characters in their movies.
Oh. So that's why it hasn't
so-
been happening for so long, is they've been competing over how many roles they can take in the same movie.
Well, I mean, they could take as many as they want. It's an animated film; they just got to voice like the characters, kind of situation.
Right.
But maybe it's like some sort of Cold War between Murphy and Myers about who gets to voice more characters. Yes, Ian.
This might feel like a tangent to you guys, but this is just a small window into the sick, twisted shit going on in my mind.
Okay.
The film The Lighthouse.
Right.
Which two characters from Shrek would be most ideal for the two titular characters of Lighthouse?
The titular lighthouses.
Originally, I was like, it has to be Shrek and Donkey, but then I thought,
Right.
what
That's
if it
the
was
obvious answer.
But what if it was Shrek and Toothy Sonic? And then I thought, the gingerbread man would make a great fucking.
I was gonna say Gingy has to be.
Yeah.
So you're saying is Gingerbread Man Robert Pattinson or Willem Dafoe? Okay.
Oh.
So he says, "Tell me you like me cooking."
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, and he is.
Do
he's
you know
food.
the Muffin Man?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck. Oh my god.
And
Willem
which
Dafoe
character-
it should be the gingerbread man in Shrek 5.
Like old gingerbread man, and he has a giant penis. Like
Yes.
I'm something of a gingerbread man myself.
Yes. Okay, now which Shrek character would say, "If I had a steak, I'd fuck it"?
One of the blind mice.
Also, probably Gingy. Oh yeah, one of the blind mice.
Pinocchio.
Man.
Yeah, there.
Oh, he-
Yeah, good.
Pinocchio
Yeah.
would. For sure.
Yeah, would.
Made of wood.
Yes.
Man, this was not the Shrek 2 retrospective I was expecting, that's for sure.
I love the part where the gingerbread man walks Pinocchio out on his hands and knees with a leash.
On a leash.
I can't go on.
Good news, everybody. The Lighthouse, directed by a fine fellow named Robert Eggers. He has a new film coming out this Christmas. It's called Nosferatu. It's about Nosferatu. And my favorite thing about it is the headline that came out a couple of months ago, and it was a picture of our friend Willem Dafoe, and it said, Willem Dafoe performed with along 300 rats for Nosferatu.
Or,
Yeah, he did.
man, I hope all those rats are credited.
Right? Yeah. They better be.
Rat number 1.
All right. Well, I think that was a good section of banter. Let's move on to the main meal of our show. I Choose You is a podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. Each week, we randomly select a new Pokemon to prepare in a delicious menu that we have designed. We then vote very democratically upon whose recipe we would most like to dine upon. And then we celebrate them with a parade. It's all very exciting. This week's Pokemon is Hatenna. It's a hat and an antenna put together. Who won last week? I believe Ian won? Or no,
Evan.
Evan.
All you fuckers chose the same Cookie Crisp
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
stuff.
Yeah.
I would have gotten away
I
with
got
it
the
too.
sympathy vote. Yeah.
Evan,
Okay.
give us your Hatenna recipe.
Here we go. Well, so yes, and as we said last week, we're all going to eat hats because it is the hat Pokemon.
The hat Pokemon.
And but if you turn it upside down and maybe take the hat off, it could be more of a cone, perhaps. Yeah. So what I'm proposing here is, and of course this wouldn't be I Choose You without a little punny wordplay, is Hatenna Hatuna Tartar.
Nice.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, unlike the name, we're not necessarily putting tuna in this, but we are kind of doing a tartar Hatenna with this cone.
Gotcha.
But so what we're doing is, and I don't know if you've had like, ahi poke or something where they give you a little wonton cracker. Very similar recipe here, but we're basically like wonton deep frying the hat as our little cone, and then you take the scoop of mouth/legs and just kind of dice that up into little chunks, right?
Okay.
And you put that in a bowl with some sesame and some soy sauce and a little bit of lemon, just kind of give it a little zhuzh, right? Stir that together, maybe a little green onion perhaps, and then you put that in the upside down hat cone, and you've got your little tartar cone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Does it look like ice cream, or is it just going to be like chunks?
I mean, it's just chunks. This is not ice cream. This is like, think more poke, think more like Japanese fusion
Yeah.
sort of style.
And would you say that you would make sure that it was the meat was pink like the Hatenna?
I mean, I think it's got to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that little
Oh.
guy, that's pink meat on there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's always rare. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ian.
When I get this from the cashier, do they hand it to me like a blizzard?
So unfortunately, they can't throw it upside down because everything would spill out of it.
Okay. I just wanted to
Yeah.
say.
Ian, is that how you get every meal? Is you're like turn it upside down? Like
Just
These
to double
fajitas,
check
turn
it.
them upside down.
Yeah.
you're just at a restaurant and you're like, this soup, turn it upside down.
Yeah. Oh, the minestrone, a fine choice, sir. And they bring it out, and I say, oh, sorry, you're serving this to me incorrectly. Turn it upside down. And they're like, but sir. And
But
I'm like, it's not a real
Can't
minestrone
possibly.
if it if you can't do that. It's free.
So, this sounds like a scene out of like Inception or something, where it's like if the tartar stays upside down when you turn it over, then you know that you're in a
It
dream.
proves it's in your dream.
I love
Yeah.
that end of the movie where they spin a piece of ahi tuna on the table and it just keeps spinning.
delicious.
Well, my question, I guess, would be like when you're eating ice cream so it's served in a cone, as you're saying.
Yeah, it's not
And
ice
when
cream.
you, yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying on that front.
Really can't get
but
past
when
the
you
cone
have
shape
ice
and the
cream
ice
in
cream.
a cone,
Yeah,
it kind of like you put it in and then it like kind of conforms to the cone shape.
Right.
And I'm saying how much of our meat has conformed to the cone shape that we are being presented with.
It is kind of a squishy little thing, isn't it? Like I feel like it's conforms to the container that you put it in, sort of situation, similar to cats or whatever. But like, yeah, I think like because I hate those things where you're like starting to eat it, it's crumbling, shit's falling out, right? Like this thing needs to be contained as I'm chowing. So I'm imagining, it takes on the little shape of the cone. It's kind of like when you have a drumstick, you know, those like chocolate peanut covered ice cream cone things, and you like eat around the cone or whatever, and then you got like the nice shape of the ice cream and the cone shape. Like maybe that would happen, right?
Yeah.
Perhaps, yes, Ian.
Sorry, we're grilling the shit out of you. Is the cone actually the hat, or is it just like themed?
Oh no, it's actually the hat.
What, like, I guess I would have thought the hat was more of like a soft shell, but is this like a hard shell?
Well, so that's why you gotta fry
Ah,
it,
you fry it. Got it. Thank you.
because that'll solidify
Love it.
the structural integrity
Yes.
of this cone.
Yeah.
That's essential.
I wish you could order a soft shell for your like ice cream.
It's just like a waffle tortilla, just a soggy waffle.
Yeah, just
That
a
is kind of what the
tortilla with
Choco
ice cream
Taco
in it.
turns into, right?
That's
Yeah.
true. Oh God, when does the Choco Taco come out? I'm embarrassed that I don't know this.
I gotta figure this out because if like Taco Bell, their whole thing is they do like test markets, right? So they'll like start it in some city, like in Ohio or whatever, and then
Ohio,
whatever
they always
the
get
like
the best.
whatever that Taco Bell is that used to be like a drive-through bank or something.
Yeah,
The hotel.
yeah. Damn, Ohio's getting the Choco Taco. They got the most of the Eclipse. They got Skyline Chili. What else don't they have? All right.
I do want to say that recipe sounds really good. I've never had it, but I've looked it up for like a recipe as you know.
That was like
and-
almost all I ate in Hawaii. That was like,
Oh,
yeah, so good.
Well, I mean, I've had I love a good poke. So if you can get rid of the bowl and just make it all like edible, like top to bottom, as I think we agree, all food stuff should be like the container that your food comes in should also be
Absolutely.
edible.
More eco-friendly, honestly.
how am I just thinking about this? The ice cream cone is kind of like a bread bowl, but for ice cream. Like
That is-
because it
that is
has
true.
the edible container component of it. Like
Yeah, it
what
is
an
a bread.
innovation.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, you could put ice cream in a bread bowl if you really wanted to.
Fuck yeah, brother.
Wow.
instead of a regular bowl.
Ooh.
Oh. God, that's good.
Ian won't eat bread with butter, but ice cream, man.
I mean, ice cream is like sweet butter. You know what I mean?
You're not
butter.
wrong.
Sweet cold butter.
Yep.
Oh, and
All
I
right.
looked it up, and apparently summer of this year is Choco Taco time.
It's the summer of love, baby.
Summer of love.
I mean, that's what they said when they were bringing Shrek back. It's the summer of love. We've got to bring Shrek 2 back to theaters.
Well,
Okay.
if anyone is
Ben.
opposed, I'll go next.
Whoa.
Yes.
You know Ben's up to some dastardly shit right now.
Yeah, you
Well,
guys
he
are gonna
wants to
match
get
recipes.
out ahead of another
Yeah.
Grooky Crisp
Smug
situation.
fucking look on their face.
Well, they
So
did
funny.
that last. They did go first last week, so they did get ahead of the situation. So
I'm fine with I have two options.
No,
because
please. Make my day.
Okay. Okay. Well, I asked Asia. I ran both of them by Asia first, and Asia was like, "I don't think you should be worried about someone stealing it." So, but I don't know.
What does it matter?
You guys are kind of rascals. So, I was struggling for a
Ben,
long...
first of all, first question: are we rascals or are we wascals?
Definitely the latter.
Definitely wascals. Okay, so I was struggling at first to think of a recipe. And I was trying to find like a pun. Hatenna is excellent, by the way. Just gotta have, shout that out. I was struggling, but I wanted to come back to hat at some point, right? Like, and then I started
thinking
thinking
back to hat.
Hat, food hats, bowler hats, baseball hats, pork pie hats.
Oh, great song.
Oh, well, okay, so this is one of the reasons why I was thinking that someone else would think this, but apparently no one else thought of the old simple pork pie hat, as it's called in jolly old England. As well
Isn't
as
it also called that here?
That's true. Yep. But only in England is there an actual pork pie. I think that's fair to say.
Sure.
Because I wasn't quite sure what it was until I started looking it up. It sounds simple. You take a bunch of pork, bacon, ground up meat of the pig, as it were, and you mix it all together with some herbs and some spices. Granted, you're making this in England, so that means just like salt or pepper. But you can spice it up a little bit more if you want to. You're allowed to, and you put it in a pie with some pastry dough all around it. Sounds simple enough, but the kicker is that you're actually supposed to add and inject gelatin into it. So you're supposed to add gelatin to it on the sides, and it's at the very end.
On the sides of the pie or on the meat?
Of the sides, the space between imagine the inside of the pie, right? There's a space between the pie crust and the meat filling, okay? That's where your gelatin's going to go. Is that space between the spaces.
Wow.
Peter Gabriel's space between.
Yes.
Exactly. This is what he was talking about. It's the gelatin in the pork pie. The pork pie.
Yes.
So I'm making a pork pie hatenna using the Hatenna as our meat source, and just chop it all up, throw it in the pie thing. I think you can also use its little floppy ear things as gelatin, because they look very just like floppy, kind of squishy, jiggly.
Just boil that up.
Would you say they have like gelatin in them, or would you create gelatin the old-fashioned way by like boiling them?
I think their little ears, the little floppy things on the side of it, is just gelatin that you can like snip off, and it'll grow back.
You just peel it like a grape.
Yeah. But it's really
give it a nice little squoosh, and it comes right out.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I was looking it up, and so this gelatin part of the pork pie, you can go to just like a regular store and get like gelatin for your pork pies, like
As
for
you
that
do?
purpose.
Fucking Great Britain, they don't need why. I'm gonna say something really mean, and it's because it's a movie, so it's okay. So I was at the movie theater, and the trailers were going on, and one of them was for the upcoming film Back to Black, which is about Amy Winehouse, right? She had a very tragic life, all that kind of stuff, very emotional and thing. And it's probably just because of the way this trailer was presenting it. But at some point, Amy Winehouse says something very dramatic, but it's done in a very British way, and is like, I said to myself, I can't take these people seriously. As this person was like, oh, blimey, I'm falling apart. Like, again,
Oh my god!
And again, it's because it's a movie and it doesn't look very good, so it's like probably just like the actor not pulling off what's needed in that moment kind of situation.
Okay,
but I'm also going to say I can't take them seriously anymore.
It's true.
British
sorry.
people in general. Wow.
Yeah.
You heard
But
it here first,
people-
Jeremy. I mean,
But people from Australia and New Zealand, I still take them seriously.
Yeah, we can't alienate.
and you're not just
our-
saying that because that's the second biggest like country where people listen to the show besides America.
Yes.
No, I think if anyone would appreciate saying the British are a joke, it would be New Zealand and Australia. So.
Probably.
True.
Yeah. Well, we're pandering to our audience.
Yeah. Always. It's for the fans.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway,
All
that's
right,
my recipe.
Okay, so you go to the gelatin store, or jelly store as they call it in Great Britain, and they don't call it that. I'm getting things mixed up in my head. Yes, Ian.
Sorry if I missed this. Is the jelly fun colors? Like Jell-O? I guess I'm
It's
like
pretty
thinking of-
utilitarian.
Well,
I feel like.
yeah,
Like
it's so. When you're using Hatenna, it is naturally blue,
Naturally.
and that's
Wow,
just
Diva.
how it is. But in real life, no, it's just
No,
yeah,
I
it's-
wasn't. I'm rarely am I talking about real life.
You
Ben,
can do
in
that
your
for a
fake-
nice little. Oh yeah, go ahead.
In your fake life, when you get the Hatenna jelly out of its ears, is it like a fun color? Is it pink or blue? And can you like cut open your pie and it has like a nice blue stripe in it?
Well, it does have a nice little blue stripe in it. Like you can see the like Hatenna gelatin in the pie crust, and you put the gelatin into the pie at the very last part of it while it's like after you've baked it in the oven, you take it out and it's settling, and then you inject the gelatin in the sides, and I guess it just really gets it going.
It's like giving Botox to your pie.
Well, the video that I watched, it did have like a big. I don't think this is how they did it, back in ye olden days. But they had a syringe that they were using to like stick it inject all the gelatin in there.
Got to give your pie some more structure.
Yeah.
I guess so. That's probably part of it, because it's
I think that's literally true because gelatin has a very, strong, like, kind of form
Yeah.
that you can add to your foodstuffs.
And if you look up pictures of pork pie, it's kind of ridiculous. It is like very elevated, and it kind of looks like there's just like a can of ground meat like surrounded by pie. It's very weird, and you can see why the gelatin helps keep it standing and like kind of wobbly almost.
It's like a pork cake.
It kind of looks like a cake. Yeah.
Always was.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could see how the gelatin helps with this.
So, but you can also see the layer of gelatin in the
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
sides. It's
Yes.
kind of a weird effect. Like,
I'm saying this doesn't really help Britain in the taking them seriously column.
So so going back to hats as we need to, is it coming in cake shape, or do we have to conform to more of a pork pie cone? Like what because of the Hatenna hat?
oh, well, I was thinking that it is going to come out like a pork pie, which kind of, I guess, looks like a pork pie hat. Which
Okay,
is,
we're discarding the Hatenna hat. We're just using it for meat
yes,
stuffs.
yes, exactly. We're just using it for its meat and its ears. The hat, unfortunately, gets tossed.
You can wear it while you're.
You could
eating
wear it if you're a real freak, but sometimes we are.
I just want to highlight on the Wikipedia page for pork pie, there's a thing called variations, and the first one is called the gala pie, where the filling includes a proportion of chicken and a hard-boiled egg. So you just cut it open, and like the image you saw, but imagine there's a hard-boiled egg in the center.
Jeremy, I could have lived my entire life without imagining that. God damn! Don't show me. I don't. Wow,
There's the egg.
God.
That is disgusting. If you're gonna put an egg in the middle or do an egg in something, it has to. That's not the way to do it. Like,
Just incorporate it more.
yeah,
No, you want that egg kind of like you talking about gelatin, like a hard-boiled egg kind of has a similar texture kind of going on. So I definitely think it's jelly on all sides.
but like bake, you would bake an egg in the middle of a meat pie. You would do that, because I wouldn't.
no, I wouldn't.
The World War II, a lot of bad stuff happened. Fucking devastated culinary arts.
They got a little desperate for ideas.
God, that's so bad.
You got to do what you got to do. You know.
Yeah, and you know, I think your recipe will be like a kind of like economic boom after a war scenario here. So, what's your recipe this week?
Well, you're absolutely right, Jeremy, because I'm taking. All right. This season, I'm playing in the workshop. All right, that's the theme. I'm Santa's little fucking elf, going to work on these little toys for the little boys and girls who listen to the show.
Are you Snap, Crackle, or Pop in this situation?
I'm fucking Pow. Okay.
Or the Keebler one.
Yeah, Keebler's given Santa elf status.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt with another
please.
tangent, but online, I was on my forums, as one does, and someone wrote a comic about a Keebler elf falling in love with a Lord of the Rings elf.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
So it's like the Keebler elf is kind of like short and pudgy and making cookies, and then the Lord of the Rings elf is like tall, elegant, like, you know, archer kind of situation, and they had a swooning romance together.
Oh.
It's interesting because like a lot of the elves out there, Keebler especially, much closer to like more of like a hobbit gnome situation than like graceful, sexy elf.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but the sexiness of the elves was kind of a Tolkien invention. Like the difference between like an elf and a gnome and a fairy in the olden days was pretty thin.
Jeremy,
But that
don't try to
Mr.
like
J.R.R. was
he was
little
horny
freak
as
over
fuck.
there.
Yeah.
He was freaky.
Anyway,
I feel like the Keebler elf reference, they don't use. I haven't seen the Keebler elf in years. I feel like that's just like a holdover from my childhood.
There's
quite honestly,
it's not like creme de la creme humor, but there is a really good robot chicken with the Keebler elves, and like the Cookie Monster comes and wrecks their shit.
I remember that.
Yeah. But you're right. They
Anyway.
radio silence for sure. I'm taking you guys to Texas Road Hat.
Is the restaurant basically just a giant like 10-gallon hat that you walk inside of?
Yes.
Do you instead of peanuts, do they force everyone to wear a hat as soon as you go inside?
Hats all over the floor.
Yes. You shell the hat and just throw it on the ground, and then like the waiter like falls on it.
I'm glad you asked that, Jeremy, because when you walk in, you are greeted by bowls upon bowls of Hatenna nuts, which you can de-hat and eat, and throw the hats on the floor.
D's nuts.
D's nuts.
D-hat, D's nuts.
Now,
So my next question is are the Hatennuts the size of a Hatenna? Like they're like 3 feet tall, and you gotta like really crack that shit open.
yeah, like when you walk in, you trip face first on all the all the hats on the ground that are full size.
Okay, wait. Can you? I feel like I just like you just started like going with a joke about there being peanuts on the ground at Texas Roadhouse, and I just went along with it. I have no idea what that means. So
at
it's
Texas
disgusting.
Roadhouse,
on the ground.
you get peanuts at your table, and people just throw the shells on the floor.
And that's the thing.
Okay,
And
that's
That's like
thing.
their gimmick.
Okay, that's their thing.
not just at the table. When you walk in and you're like waiting for your table, like the whole lobby area is littered with shells.
Shells. Yeah.
But I am gonna ask that you, the press, holds their questions until I'm done with my fucking recipe.
Sure.
Because you don't go to a Texas Road Hat for any old occasion. You gotta go for a birthday. So maybe maybe I pick up my special friend Jeremy. Maybe I pick up Shrek. Anyone else having a birthday this week? We get to Texas Road Hat. You go in. You get Hatenna nuts, very good. You sit down. What do you have for dinner? Maybe a Hatenna steak.
Oh, yeah, you do.
That's good. That's good.
Right. You don't have to do a lot to it. Salt, pepper. Throw that on like a nice cast iron. It's just like a nice big slab of the Hatenna.
Mm-hmm.
We have a really nice meal. And maybe Jeremy doesn't know that they know it's a birthday. But I get up. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta go drain my lizard. I'll be right back. And I
at a Texas Roadhouse, the appropriate thing.
yeah,
That's the
Go
only
to the
thing you're
trough
allowed
in the
to say.
back.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's a store that would have a trough. I've sent the group chat a picture of a Texas Roadhouse floor covered in peanut shells.
Thank you, Jeremy.
It's
Just
not.
so-
It's not a trough. You just like piss on a bunch of peanut shells. Like
It absorbs.
It's like
Well, it looks like the bottom of like a chinchilla cage, if we're being honest with ourselves.
Jesus Christ.
You're not wrong.
So this is like, again, they expect, this is your experience when you're walking in, right? Like
Yes.
if it's clean and you're like, I want a refund.
Yeah,
Right.
if there's no peanuts on the floor, I'm getting out of there.
Well, so
Gotcha.
I've got bad news. Is post-pandemic, they got rid of the barrel of peanuts at the beginning of the Texas
COVID has
Roadhouse.
taken everything from me.
Yes.
God damn it.
But yeah, so Ben, originally at the Texas Roadhouse, you walk in, you put your name on the list, and there's just a big barrel of peanuts, and you just grab peanuts out of it,
Big
and
meaty claws.
rip the shells off and throw the shells on the floor, and then you go to your table, and there's a bucket of peanuts on your table, and you just eat those and throw the shells on the floor.
There's nothing more annoyingly American than Texas goddamn Roadhouse. I hate it so much.
And the thing that I'm thinking about this whole time is I usually wear flip-flops. If I had just happened to walk
Good luck.
inside this peanut case strewn like area with my bare toesies out, open-toed
Yeah.
shoes,
Yeah.
I would feel uncomfortable. I would probably
It's worse
leave.
than like stepping on a Lego, I feel like.
Absolutely. Think about all of the little dust particles you would pick up. Like,
Yeah,
ugh.
you'd have nut feet for weeks.
Oh no! Don't say that.
That's why you gotta keep those dogs on a leash, my friend.
Well,
Got to change your ways for Texas
Cowboy boots.
Roadhouse.
Come on.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, most places don't have fucking peanut dust everywhere that you go, so it's something that I usually am fine
Well,
and wherever I go wearing a flip-flop.
you've been warned.
You know.
Yeah.
Jeremy thinks, oh, this is just a regular outing to the road hat. But after, I get up to use the restroom, and I'm like, hey, it's my friend's birthday. And so what happens? The whole staff comes out, and they're singing the birthday song. And what's for dessert? Maybe a mixed berry Hatenna New York cheesecake.
Okay.
Okay, you're stretching it.
I'm not fucking stretching it. It starts with N. New York, baby. Hatenna New York.
At 10 New York.
I did Hatenna
Okay.
nuts, and you jizzed your pants for that.
I did jizz my pants for head 10 nuts. I can't deny it. But it's probably because it had the word nut in it.
Well,
Sorry.
okay, hat 10 ounce steak is also excellent. So
Thank you.
I don't know why you have to get a little spiky with this.
Three's a
because
crowd here.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because of the political conflict that might exist between Het Texas and Het New York City.
I had to do 3 things because that's a hat trick.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Damn it.
So you got your cheesecake, and it's got mixed berries on it, the colors of the Hatenna, all right? Now, the real kicker, if you haven't been to Texas Roadhouse on your birthday, is they humiliate you. But not by wrapping you in a puff pastry dough. They pick you up, and they put you on a saddle.
Mechanical bull? Oh.
They put you on a saddle, and you have to wear a cowboy hat. But instead, they're going to give you the Hatenna hat to wear as they
Good.
publicly shame and humiliate you for being born on this day in their restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Humiliation.
Yeah. This restaurant is kind of like a weird fetish thing if you think about it. The peanuts on the floor, the trough, empty urinary trough, the humiliation, all of the cowboy accoutrements,
Ropes.
So I think not me personally.
Leather.
I've never been to a Texas Roadhouse on a birthday, my birthday.
Not yet. The Sunday. You think you have plans, Jeremy.
You don't even
You're
know.
gonna kidnap me and take me to the Roadhouse. But yeah, Texas Roadhouse, very strange restaurant. You can get a shitty steak and slip on peanuts on the floor. So it's like the best of both worlds. It's a real Hannah Montana kind of experience.
Mm-hmm.
What is served with this 10-ounce steak? What do you get?
Oh, I mean, mashed potatoes.
Steak
Probably
fries.
should have something green on the plate. Like, I hate to say it, but a lot of brown on the plate so far.
Maybe
but
some
not-
broccoli.
I
some
don't
steamed
know.
broccoli.
Putting a broccoli or an asparagus is a little woke, and I don't think they would accept
You're so
that at the
man,
Texas
you're-
Roadhouse.
You're so right.
If it ain't fried, it's not on the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you order like a slice of lettuce, they're like, "This is too woke for Texas," and then
You're
they,
gonna have
like,
to go
kick you in the
somewhere
butt.
where there's no peanuts on the ground. If
Yes.
you want something green.
Yeah.
Yes.
My final answer, probably mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I mean, a steak, mashed potatoes, and gravy does sound good, but perhaps not from Texas Roadhouse. I'll just say that much.
Their food is all right. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I went there
It's
for
been a while
someone's
since I've been
went
there.
there for someone's birthday, and I had a good time.
Oh, when was that?
So this
Pre-COVID.
recipe was inspired by
Pre-COVID. Okay.
It was inspired by. There was a lot of
True events.
everything I look at is an inspiration for Texas Roadhouse.
Maybe put a little hatch green chili on top of that 10-ounce steak.
Hatch,
that is good.
Hatch.
That was good.
That is
Damn.
good. Oh God, I wish I had thought of that for my recipe. I could have incorporated it. I have a different recipe.
Okay.
We're gonna go to a different kind of ethnic cuisine direction for mine.
I don't know if I'd call Roadhouse ethnic.
Yeah, Texas.
The ethnicity is Texas. But we're gonna go to a different country. In fact, for our recipe, and obviously we're in the Galore region this season, and that's the UK. Gov blimey, Ben, I appreciate that your recipe leaned into that. But we're going to travel to mainland Europe to a place that Pokemon hasn't covered yet, and that is Italia. We're going to make some delicious meal this week, and that meal is going to be some Hatenna pasta.
Nice.
And it's going to be not quite fully pink and blue, but we're going to approach there with that color schematic with our cheese and sun-dried tomatoes penne pasta recipe this week. And I'm thinking we might be able to zhuzh up the pasta if we're rolling out our own pasta dough, because we're trying to be very, kind of scratch down home cooking kind of situation. We can add maybe a little bit of food coloring to get it to the pinkish texture of the Hatenna. I know that there's those vegetable pastas that do this, where they incorporate certain vegetables into the pasta dough to make it like green or orange.
Yeah. So
you can have both a natural flavoring and a natural food coloring to it. So I think we'll do that with our Hatenna pasta this week. And we're gonna make the Hatenna pasta. We're gonna get some sun-dried tomatoes. We're gonna get some regular tomatoes too, and we're gonna get some pepper. And I was thinking, how do I incorporate the Hatenna in this? And I think it's tough. You said, Ben, jelly ears kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking maybe we could use the Hatenna hat as kind of like the dough base for our pasta kind of situation. Depending on its structural integrity. Yes, Ben?
Oh, I was just saying. Interesting. Say more.
Yes. Well, I think also for the shaping of our pasta, penne is usually it's kind of like a cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
But you notice they have those kind of like angled cuts, so it's like there's a bit of a point at the end. I think we're just gonna kind of make it conical instead, so it matches the shape of the Hatenna hat. Yes, Ian.
Similar to a bugle.
Yes.
I was
We're
also
making
fucking thinking about bugles.
Bugles were
We're
a pasta.
So bugles are a little more curly than I think we're going for, where it's definitely kind of like bugles are a little bit of like the mountain from Nightmare Before Christmas situation, where they're a bit like curled in on themselves.
That's not
Do you know what I'm
necessarily
talking-
true.
Thinking more like unicorn horn.
Yeah.
I think ours are a little straighter.
No, bugles are a true cone, I think.
Yeah, and
The one true cone.
They're a true cone.
and they're ridged for her pleasure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we'll maintain a conical shape for the Hatenna pasta.
Okay.
I think. And we're gonna cook our pasta. Add the regular tomatoes, some Gruyere cheese, the sun-dried tomatoes, and we're gonna get that all mixed together. And we're actually gonna put it a bit in a dish before we're finished. We're gonna add a bunch of cheese on top, and then we're gonna broil it really quickly for like a minute, so the cheese like melts and like forms like a bit of a crust on the top of the pasta. So it's a little lasagna-esque, where you're like, you crack open the cheese on the top and bring a slice over to yourself. And that's Hatenna pasta, and that's my recipe this week.
Nice.
I love Hatenna. That's great. You lost me at sun-dried tomato, but that is my own personal like Italian food ick for some reason.
What?
Yeah.
Ben.
Whenever
What
there's
do those
sun-dried
tomatoes
tomatoes,
do to you, Ben?
they just taste like metallic to me, and I don't like that.
Have you been eating blood instead?
Maybe.
What's the best? Like, what's the most gourmet situation you've had a sun-dried tomato?
Like in a pasta and in pizza.
Well, but
I feel like
no. But like, I mean
Yeah.
the source, because like when I don't like tomatoes a lot, but sun-dried tomatoes, I've had some like it's like candy. It's like eating candy.
Oh yeah.
Really?
So I'm wondering if you've
Okay.
just been
Really-
eating like dog shit and you didn't know it.
I mean, it's
think
possible.
I'm not to roast Ben, but I think sun-dried tomatoes are delicious. Like, and especially if you're making kind of like a pasta dish, and it's like maybe it's not like you don't have like a tomato-based sauce kind of situation. They just add like a nice little bit of
Get that
pizzazz.
zing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
to your dish.
I've tried it in other places too. It's just not. It doesn't do it for me for some reason. And it's one of the only things that when I see it on like at an Italian food restaurant, if I see it included in something, I'm like, I might not like it. And I'm usually right. Wow. So I just have learned this about myself. I love
okay,
tomatoes.
it's okay.
I just don't like sun-dried tomatoes.
Know thyself.
Yeah. All right, let's recap our recipes this week. From Evan, we have Hatenna tartare in a cone shaped like a Hatenna hat. From Ben, did yours have a funny? It was a pork pie hat, but it didn't have a funny name. It was just
pork pie
Hatenna.
Hatenna.
Yeah, pork pie Hatenna. There we go. From Ian, we have a full course meal at the Texas Roadhouse. Is that how you had Texas Roadhouse?
That would have been good. I just went with Texas Road hat.
Texas Road hat. That's right.
But there was numerous other very
with the,
well received puns that the record will show.
Haten out steak, Haten nuts, and Haten New York cheesecake. And for me, we have Hatenna pasta. So please, everyone vote. And Ben will tell us who the winner mon is this week.
I can tell you, but I think everyone already knows that Texas Road Hat is the true winner of this week's episode with a full sweep, a full unanimous vote, and Jeremy got Ian's vote.
Thank you. It's because it's my birthday, isn't it?
Yeah. That's your gift, Jeremy.
Oh, thank you. Well, that was a fun recipe. Well, let's move on to everyone's favorite segment of the show. It's where we read your recipes sent into ichoosepot@gmail.com. That's ichewspod@gmail.com. Evan, can you read this recipe from Mike?
Mike says, "Howdy, boys. I'm a big fan of Pokemon Sword and Shield. I personally think the Pokedex is pretty phenomenal, top to bottom. Well designed and perfect for the region they inhabit. Bonus points for Galar being the original home of my number one favorite mon. That's a story for a different episode. Hatenna is a very fun little fairy girl in a very large hat. Hat. The style of the hat gives cone vibes. Fairy types are sweet. Let's make a dessert treat. You probably could just chuck a Hatenna in the freezer for a while and eat it whole hog. Is there a Pokemon equivalent to Mr. Softy? There should be. Mike.
Besides Mr. Mime, which
Yes.
I don't know if you can really call him Mr. Softy though.
No, he has the texture of a of a dodgeball.
Interesting, because you could, like, if you froze it and the hat was like erect, you flip it over, it is an ice cream cone, like with a scoop of ice cream in it. Wow.
Pretty much.
With the Pokemon itself, yeah, I could see that.
No one went for like mochi ice cream or something.
I was thinking of ice cream. I was also thinking, this is my backup idea, cough drops.
I'm glad you went with the first one.
Me too.
I know, like, cough medicine famously, like thing people get schwasty on kind of situation. I wouldn't really. Is it like a Ricola where it's just like, kind of like menthol and honey? Because I could imagine like eating those, but if it's like more than that, I wouldn't want to eat a bunch of cough drops.
Well, it had to do with the fact that the Pokemon puts you to sleep and is the calm Pokemon and is supposed to give you a calming aura, like energies and whatnot. So that
It gets tired when you give it too many emotions, which honestly, like, same.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I figured that was my alt angle, but I'm glad that I got to share the pork pie
And
with y'all.
in the show, like when Hatenna has its big line, it says, "Don't cough." So,
Okay.
come on, I think
Their famous
you
line.
should leave.
Oh,
Come
I'm sorry.
on.
thought it was gonna be
Okay,
like a turning
here's
cough.
here's an I think you should leave joke for you. Yesterday when the eclipse was happening, I saw someone post online where it's like, you just got to be perfectly aligned, and the eclipse had the hat and the cigar on it. Kind of situation.
Try to make it look fake.
Yeah,
I love that.
so there you go. That's a good joke for you.
I liked that.
Let's pick next week's Pokemon in a section I like to call Pick-a-mon. Evan, can you give me a number between 810 and 905?
All right, next week, 902.
Oh, that should probably be a legendary. It isn't, but it's next week is how do I say this? Basculegion? It's the big fish Pokemon.
A real big fish?
Oh wait, I think I know what you're
Literally,
talking about.
it's the big fish Pokemon.
Basculin, and then it's like the
Bisquick.
evolved version.
Basculegion.
Basculegion.
Okay. We are Legion.
We are Legion.
Yeah, this is Ian's favorite subject. So we'll have to revisit our Bibles, everyone.
That's right. I was like, does Ian just love being like a hive mind? And then I forgot. I'm sorry, Ian. I can't believe I
We'll
forgot.
talk about it next.
Yeah.
Real fans will know.
Ian, I think you should become like a preacher, but this is the only thing you talk about.
Yes.
I would save so much time at seminary school because there's only like one chapter I need to know.
Okay.
Well, send in your Basculegion recipes to ichoosepod@gmail.com. We'll be very excited to share those next week. In the meantime, where can we find you on the internet, Ben?
You can find me on Instagram at Ben C. Montoya or on Tumblr at thefearandnow.tumblr.com.
Ian.
You can find me at Musician Davis on Instagram. That is where I post bass videos that you will enjoy.
Evan.
You can follow me on posts at E_Van or X at E_Van Aubrey.
You can follow me at on Twitter at Velocity Prime 1. You can follow me there as well on Blue Sky, the same handle. You can follow me on Tumblr at Velocity Prime No 1. You can check out my writing at the-avocado.org. That's the-avocado.org for my thoughts on film and television. The-avocado.org. And I think that wraps it up for the show. This has been I Choose You, the podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. You can find us on your favorite podcasting apps, and they keep changing this on me. It's driving me fucking nutty. It's Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, or your podcast catcher of choice. If you like the show, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to help us go up the ranks. If you want more I Choose You goodness, check out our social media pages, I Choose Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Threads, Tumblr, and Blue Sky. If you want to be a part of the I Choose You community, head over to our Discord, the I Choose You Discord. Link is available in the episode description. You can hang out with fellow Choosies, submit recipes, and participate in community events, all on the I Choose You Discord. If you, last but not leastly, head on over to our official website, ichooseyou.menu. ichooseyou.menu has a full episode archive and a merch store, including the beloved Poke Burger t-shirt. I wore it at the gym today, and someone said, that's fun. So get it. You will become the talk of the town. That's the Poke Burger t-shirt, available on ichooseyou.menu. That's it for the show. I've been your host and Alton Brown of the group, Jeremy Zielik.
I've been your friend on the show, Ben Montoya.
I've been your Wayne Kent Taylor, CEO of Texas Roadhouse, Ian Davis.
And I've been your Evan Aubrey.
And to all the choosies out there in Radio Land, in a while, Totodile.
I wanna be the greatest chef, like no one ever was. To cook them is my real test, to taste them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the flavor that's inside. I choose you, gotta cook 'em all. It's you and me. Ben, Evan, and Jeremy. I choose you. Oh, we're your best friends. In this world we must digest. I choose you, gotta cook 'em all. Our appetite will pull us through. You roast me and I'll roast you. I choose you. Gotta cook 'em all. Gotta cook 'em all. I choose you.